Hello, my friend, my friend. Time for our meeting this Monday, March 10th. The interview with Michelle Bolsonaro is reaching 1,000 and a half views. The first part entered on Friday night, the second part on Saturday night. 1,000 and a half views in a very short time has its meaning, right? Because the interview, she's very good, and thanks to her, I just had the merit of bringing her here to the studio. And I wanted to announce, especially to my friends from Brasilia, that this book from the LVM bookstore, from LVM Publishing House, my book from Brasilia, Alexandre Garcia, I recommend this book to anyone who wants to understand current Brazilian politics. And the structure of Brazilian politics will have its national launch tomorrow, Tuesday, 7 p.m., starting at 7 p.m. at Livraria Travessa do Casa Parque. So those from Brasilia are invited. Today begins Glaucoma Prevention Week, which can lead to blindness and can be prevented by early screening and early treatment. It is also World Day to combat sedentary lifestyle. The opposite of this is moxa se, right? Because a body that moves generally doesn't get sick, right? A body that doesn't move, we always get tired. Let's get to today's business. Don't forget to sign up. We are even closer to the 3rd million. Yeah, don't forget to leave it. I liked it or I didn't like it. Today they assumed the new Minister of Health is Alexandre Padilla. And the new Minister of Negotiation of the Government of Political Articulation, Gleisi Hoffmann, who until today was president of the P. Did you have to bring her out early? Will OPT choose a new president for a buffer term, shall we say? Yeah, I had lunch with a senator today, and he told me that everyone in Congress is shocked because they know it's Gleisi. It's about fighting. It's not about conciliation, negotiation, understanding, right? That she's one of those angry women from Seoul, PT, from the left, right? I heard her speech. I find this interesting, this new language, right? Who abandoned Portuguese, which they learned in the EEE primary course. It's a waste of time, the new language. People waste time on themselves and those who are listening to them. She, for example, during the tour in her speech, said that she will respect the spaces and skills of each one of them. Speaking to all the ministers is a waste of time, right? And further on, then it becomes incoherent. What is it? Further on, she said, today a teacher earns 5,000 and pays 27.5% income tax. Because there was only one teacher missing the teacher, right? She created this difference. The Portuguese language, when it has masculine and feminine, uses the masculine plural. It's obvious, isn't it? It's good. And there is another lady who left the Ministry of Health full of dengue, Nisa Trindade. She left blaming the misogynists, that she left because of misogyny. People running by there, a psychologist already knows what she means, right? It's not my fault. It's my fault being a woman. They consider that being a woman, so I couldn't stay in the ministry. What a childish thing, right? Well, Alexandre Padilla, who is a doctor and is taking over. Minister of Health, well, we're still talking about government, right? Today is the day of the central bank's focus bulletin with market forecasts regarding the Brazilian economy, rising inflation forecast. The inflation forecast is now 5.68%. That is, it already exceeds the previous forecast. The goal is 4.5%. This is already 26% above the target. People at the supermarket know this, right? The GDP forecast, the government celebrated last year's IBGE bound, right? It is 2.01% forecast of dollar, 6 BRL. I swear no one knows, right? The central bank is there looking at the expansion of currency credit, M2, right? Because all of this weakens the currency, right? It is a phase of expanding credit. People get into debt because of excessive government spending. That's where we can't help but quote the main headline on the front page of today's Folha de São Paulo, saying that the government is going to spend $3.5 billion on propaganda. This includes direct and indirect administration, state as well. Bolsonaro's time was $2.5 billion. Everything, huh? Billions is. In other words, Lula is spending more on advertising, 40% more, right? It's but there's no point in propaganda. People don't believe in false advertising. Advertising will make picanha reach people's tables. Or the coffee is the egg, the orange. In fact, this anti-nationalist government measure to zero the import rate. Stimulating imports and maintaining taxes on national production. Now, I said yesterday that the National Confederation of Industry was complaining about the slowdown in the economy. The Federation AA Firian do Rio de Janeiro, OA Febraban, the Federation of Eden Banks, right? And now the people from the Brazilian Association of Fish Producers, of which 75% are sardines, imagine, will take the tax on imported sardines, which is 32%. Then the Portuguese sardines will arrive here. According to the president of AB Pesca, Eduardo Lobo, it will go bankrupt. The fishing industry, which employs 5,000 people, that's talking about those who live from fishing, right? It's good. Another issue is the senator with whom I had lunch today told me that if Alcolumbre put an impeachment against a Supreme Court minister to a vote on trial. The impeachment out of 81 senators would only have 24 votes, that is 56 or 57 in favor against impeachment, which would confirm the power of the accused to tear up the Constitution. It's something to consider. There in the chamber, they are talking about CPI abuse of authority, aren't they, in fact? Yes, I'm seeing more and more Felipe Martins causing concerns because that business they arranged for him to enter the United States with a passport number, which was already seized 2 years ago from another person and with a wrong name, something very Brazilian, right? Who calls Felipe, right? No American will write Felipe if there is gall in the United States. And what's all Philip like, right? As it should be. But in short, now it seems that Bolsonaro's defenses, Felipe Martins, of those who are there, of these 34, will use all the arguments to later serve to supply the American Congress, the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, maybe the International Court of Raya, huh? At least that, since he has no vote in the Senate, at least before the 2026 election. The good me, huh? Today is the day to combat sedentary lifestyle. It is the day against sitting all day. Move, right? There are people who by profession. Poor bastard. You have to sit all day, then you have to try to take stock of it. And then you heard, right? Speaking of sedentary lifestyle, those discoveries from the secretariat there at Ilan. Musk, huh? From the DOJ, its money put out 40,000 for sedentary immigrants is, it seems it was 11,000 if I'm not mistaken for transgenic mice. That's crazy. $8 million, rooms or space, huh? Maybe they translated it badly because room poor. That means room for, right? It's not necessarily fourth in New York for illegals, $59 million everybody. He freaked out about it. I have a book here, the Gentili Almanac. Gentili is Jose Carlos Gentili, who is from the Lisbon Academy of Sciences and the Brasilia Academy of Letters. He took 20 theses approved by CAPS, people with scholarships defending doctoral and master's theses. Look at these theses in Brazil. Every child here, or this or that, is the name of a master's thesis in education from Universidade Federal Fluminense. Another thesis, a criminological critique, the criminal populism as a political project neutralizing bodies. Master of Law from PUC de Minas. It's been here, Bruxolic Witches as Resistance Technology. PhD in Communication from UERJ. Sapatonas caminhoneiras negras e o mercado de trabalho como desafio. Master in Public Policies from the Federal University of Piauí, a critique of cis-normativity from colonial and anarchist perspectives. Master in Philosophy from the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. Guys, there are incredible things like that. That's amazing. I'm not going to read the 20 here, there's no time. But abortion as a biopolitical instrument is there at PUC Minas. Master of Law. How is a KIR body made? Biomolecular revolution against the empire. Pornographic drug. Master's degree in law from the Federal University of Minas Gerais. People, that's right here. We found it strange in the United States. It's worse here than Brasilia, Alexandre Garcia.